realize that I must seem like a total nut job when people hear me saying and referring to myself as God. But there really is a method to my madness. See, I'm spending a lot of time within myself, within my psyche these days, within my soul. I'm doing soul speak to heal myself at the deepest level inside. There are layers of consciousness within us, and our logical, intellectual ego mind is the most prominent. That's always on the surface, and that's always active. And we very seldom get to the inner core where our feelings, where our psychological feelings reside, and the wounds and the shadows. I spend a lot of time in my shadows. And so, what is the madness? What is the method to my madness in stating over and over again that I am God and you are God? In our deep psychological being, it is unnatural. It is unnatural to have a Lord, a Master. Freedom is only achieved through conscious self-autonomy. You are never truly experiencing freedom as long as you have a Lord or Master over you. God did not ask that of us. You see, we can never unite with our own soul as long as there is a Lord or a Master or some sense of obedience and submission to a higher being than ourselves. That's not freedom. And our soul can never truly experience true liberation and true freedom. Like I said on my up today, freedom is only freedom if you give yourself permission. There is no one else, not even God, that can give you permission or forgive you. You have to function from the autonomous God self that you are. And so, by repeating this, that I am God, I am creating a psychological fusion in my mental body, in my emotional body, in my psychological body. A fusion of oneness. Words do fail to convey the feeling, but it's the absolute and ultimate freedom, security, safety, peace. You come home to yourself. But as long as we think psychologically as God, as being some higher being, outside and apart from ourselves, we're always subject to someone else's commandments, to someone else's orders, to someone else's mandates. You're living as a servant. And it's not natural to live as a servant. All that language in the Bible about obedience and submission to Christ is really about submission and yielding to yourself, your higher self, your God self. And I know it sounds, like I say, crazy, especially to Christians. If they hear me saying, I am God, look at me, look at this weak human being claiming to be God. Well, it all depends on what kind of idea and definition a person holds to what God is, right? There's all kinds of concepts: strength, perfection, beauty, glory, all the things that we don't see about ourselves, but mainly because we have been told that we are none of those things, and that we are just weak, diseased, sickly, bad sinners. So you see the disconnect that has been formed in our psyche. Psyche is the Greek word for soul, by the way. So there is a disconnect that has been created in our psyche, and I have found the best way to bridge and fuse that disconnect into oneness is to consciously feel into the reality that I am God. You are God. That's the closest you can get to God, is by declaring that you are it. So I just thought I'd make a little video about that. I tell you guys, nothing has healed me more than to acknowledge myself. It's been empowering. It's been healing. It's been setting me free. I don't know if there is further stages of freedom that can be experienced. I guess I'll find that out. But this one pertains completely to the inner healing of our emotions and our psychological separateness from all that is good. So I will keep declaring and sharing this message until it penetrates into people's minds and hearts. You are that beautiful God that you worship. If you were to treat yourself in the way that you imagine you treat God and honor God and respect God, boy, you would be a superhuman. You'd be amazing. You'd be glorious. Remember, we go from glory to glory. Well, you have to start with yourself. The glory playground is your being. So you move it from glory to glory. Move yourself from glory to glory.